Welcome to Kitchen Counseling. I'm Chef Tom. I'm your motorcycle riding holistic chef. And I got a special treat for you today. This is going to be one of my vegetarian dishes. This is a black pepper tofu. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story, how we got there, and then we are actually going to cook this whole thing up. Many years ago when I was married, my wife was an on-again, off-again vegetarian. And even though I've never claimed myself to be a vegetarian, I wanted to find a way to enjoy some meals with her. So I started playing with a lot of vegetarian recipes, and I actually came across some that are really, really good. This was one of our go-tos when we were married, and even since then, it's still one of those ones I get cravings for every once in a while. I really, really love this one. So we're going to put this together. The first step is we are going to fry the tofu. All right, so I'm going to peel this down here so you can watch the starting process of this. You're going to need 2 pounds, about 2 pounds of a firm tofu. I've got a mixture of a firm and extra firm just to kind of see if we have any differences in the consistency later afterwards, but whatever you like. All right, so here we go. We're going to come on down here. So we've got a frying pan. Now, if you've got a deep fryer, it's a lot easier to do this. You're cutting up your tofu in about 1-inch squares. All right, so that's what you're looking for. And then you can just dump them into your deep fryer. Now, since I don't have a deep fryer here, you're going to use a pan. You want to get at least a 1/2 inch of oil in there so that we can start cooking these. And then you're just going to, if you're doing them this way, you're going to keep turning them so they don't stick and just till they kind of get brown and toasty all around. All right, so let's start this. Okay, that's basically it. We're going to turn them over, we're going to keep them going, and just till they get nice and brown, then we're going to take them out, put them on a paper towel lined plate, and that's going to hang out until we do the other stuff. All right, so I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll be right back. All right, bye. Welcome back. All right, here we are. Now, we did the tofu, and my pan was not quite big enough for all of it at once. I got most of the 2 pounds in there, but we're doing stages. So I'm going to show you what it's looking like as it's frying. I'm going to show you what it's cooked up as. It took about 20 minutes, so it's going to take you about 20 minutes to do this. The nice thing about this is you can actually do this well ahead of time. It doesn't have to be right at the time when you're making dinner or whatever, and set that aside. When we worked in the restaurant, that's what we used to do. We do fry up a lot of tofu for a lot of different dishes that we're doing on our station, and then you just use them as you need it, warm them back up with the sauces enough, and that really is all you got to do with it. So let me bring it on down here. So here's what we got. This is our last little bit. This still needs to be cooked up. And this is what you're going to finish up. You get a nice little golden brown. You got little crispies there. Got some texture. It looks better. Like I said, 20 minutes. 20 minutes to get to that point. So now, while this last batch is cooking up, we're going to do the next step. And this is the really fun part. So I am going to get this ready here for us. Okay, so let's run down the recipe here. All right, so we're using 2 pounds of a firm tofu. Vegetable oil for frying, that's what we have in here. I used a safflower oil because I had a bunch of that left over. It's also a very nice high cook point, so it's really nice to use. We're going to use 11 tablespoons of butter. Now this is our next step that we're going to go into here. 1 stick of butter is 8 tablespoons. So you're using a stick and then a little bit more. So 11 tablespoons of butter. We're doing 12 ounces of a thinly sliced shallots. I love working with shallots. Now here's our shallots, and I just kind of cut them, just sliced them up. So you just measure those out, 12 ounces. Then we're going to do about 8 fresh red chilies. Now the nice thing about the red chilies is it depends whether you want it hot or mild. You can get any kind of red chilies. A lot of this is going to be for the color, the pop. The presentation is going to make it really nice. So we got some mild red chilies that we just sliced on up. And again, it's going to be for everything. If you want it spicy, get spicy red chilies. If you don't, then don't get spicy red chilies. Get something more mild. Then we're going to go into our 12 garlic cloves and 3 tablespoons of a fresh ginger. So if you're using the fresh, you need 12 garlic cloves and 3 tablespoons of fresh ginger. Now what I'm doing here is that I'm using the minced garlic that's already done. So I've already got that in here, and then 3 tablespoons of fresh ginger. I used the ones that are already concentrated in there. This is about a tablespoon and a half. Ginger can blow you away if you put too much in there. So if you don't use the fresh, definitely modify it down a little bit till you get to like what you like. Let me keep these going here. Yeah, these are cooking up nice here now. Get some nice color on here. Awesome. Those will be done in a few minutes. All right, so that is the garlic and the ginger. And then we're going to do this. The key to this one, I think, is the soy sauces. We've got 3 different soy sauces here, and this is what gives it all that flavor. So you're going to use 3 tablespoons of a sweet soy sauce, with sometimes in the markets you see it named Keycat Manis. It's a sweet soy sauce. You're using 3 tablespoons of your light soy sauce. Light soy sauce is pretty much what you see everywhere. That's what you go and see in the restaurants and stuff they got on the table and all that stuff. That's your light soy sauce. It doesn't look light, but it is. Then you have 4 tablespoons of a dark soy sauce. Sometimes you'll see it labeled many different things. I bought mine at an Asian market when I started doing this recipe, and it was called black soy sauce. So you're just looking for it's thicker, and you're going to notice the difference. 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then we're doing about 4 to 5 teaspoons of coarsely crushed ground peppercorns. And then we're doing 16 small, thin green onions that we cut in about 1-inch segments. So about the same size as your tofu. So it's all gonna look good. It's gonna be easy to eat, all that kind of stuff. So those are your ingredients that we're gonna do. I am gonna get this tofu over here, and then we're gonna start cooking on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and spin this down so you can see what's happening on the stovetop. All right, so here's our tofu now. It's finishing up. Look at that nice brown colors. Looks good. It's gonna have some texture to it now, and you're gonna get the flavor from all the sauces that you're putting in there. The sauces, the soy sauce is really what's gonna make this happen. If you wanted to get a little more creative with the tofu, you could actually put some type of an herb or something, sprinkle on there, a dry herb or a powder of some kind. If you wanted some garlic powder or a ginger or something like that, just to give it an additional flavor. So tofu will take on whatever you decide you want it to taste like. All right, so now let's go ahead and switch over here to the big pot, and this is where all the magic's gonna happen. All right, so we're gonna start with our butter. We're gonna throw our butter in here. Start melting the butter down here. Nice. Nice. I like playing with my food. All right, so we're gonna melt that. All right, then we're going to throw in our shallots. So this is going to keep melting down. We're going to throw in our shallots. I love working with shallots. I love the look. I love the flavor. I use them in many of my recipes. Just bring something to it. My sauteed mushrooms, the shallots, I think, are one of the keys to it. Not the key, but I think it's one of the keys to it. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and keep that cooking there. And we're gonna add our chilies. Basically, we're just softening all these right now. Once that butter all gets melted down, we're gonna end up turning this down heat-wise, probably to a low to medium-low heat. Okay, and then finally, we're going to add our garlic and ginger. Very nice. Now this is going to really start making it smell good. Okay, our butter is pretty well melted. Let's turn this down. So I'm going to take it down to a medium low, just below medium. And we're just going to let this cook now. About 15 minutes. I'll come back, I'll stir it occasionally. I'm looking for it to all turn shiny. I'm looking for everything to turn shiny. The shallots and the peppers, and you're going to actually start smelling that garlic, and that ginger is going to start getting real potent. So we're going to go ahead and cook this now for 15 minutes. Stirring it occasionally. And then I'll come back, we'll add the soy sauces and really finish this thing up. All right, see you in a few. Bye. All right, we're back for the final step. This is where it all comes together and looks awesome, okay? And it's going to taste great. You're going to love this. So what we're doing, we've actually now cooked this, the shallots and the chilies and the garlic and the ginger for about 15 minutes. And I'm going to show you what it looks like here. We're going to then, now, next step is we're going to add our soy sauces. We're going to add the soy sauces and the sugar. We're just going to give it a little quick stir. And then we're going to add the crushed black pepper and the tofu, and we're going to warm that up for about a minute. All right, just kind of get it all together. Once that happens, then we'll throw the final piece of it will be the green onions, or we're just going to stir it all to incorporate it all, and then we're done. You're going to serve this over some steamed rice, some steamed white rice or brown rice, whatever you like, and you got meal. Okay, so let's flip down here so you can kind of see what I'm doing with this final steps. So here's our shallots and our chilies and our garlic and our ginger. All right, so now let's go ahead and throw in our soy sauces, and I've got all three of the soy sauces in here. You got the sweet, the light, and the dark, and then we got our 2 tablespoons of sugar. So you're gonna add a little extra sweetness there. We're just gonna give it a little stir, just kind of get it all incorporated here. Cover everything, get it all in there. Yeah, that looks good there. That looks good. Okay, and then we're gonna add our pepper. Like I said, we had about 4 to 5 teaspoons of a black pepper. And that's going to be a lot of black pepper. But that's what this is. That's why it's called the black pepper tofu. I just gave it a little stir to make sure everything's all kind of mixed in there again. Okay. That's good. Now we're going to add our tofu that we already cooked up. We're just basically kind of warming it back up. And now mixing it up with the sauces so it gets some of that sauce flavor all over it. I'm going to turn this heat up just a little bit. Go ahead and turn it down. Let's just turn it up just to kind of incorporate it all in here. You're just kind of warming up the tofu again. You're getting that sauce all over everything. Letting everything kind of mix in together. There we go. I can see everything getting covered there. That's what we're looking for, especially with the tofu. Want that tofu to get all that sauce all over there. So we're only cooking this for about a minute, and then we're finally, our last step is we're going to throw in our green onions. And basically, the green onions here are just going to, again, incorporate. It's going to get, we're going to not cook them through, so they're going to still have the crunch. But it's in also the look. But you're going to stir them all in so they get the flavor and stuff, too, of everything else you got going on in there. Doesn't that look awesome? The colors. You can tell with the sauces in there that it's going to have some flavor. There we go. And that's our black pepper tofu. Let me get a little fork here. We'll give it a little try. I get a little bit of the tofu, get one of the green onions and the peppers. I'll tell you, this one never disappoints. Like I said, I'm not a vegetarian, but I do love this one. Now, the one thing to keep in mind with this particular recipe, the actual cooking part of it is pretty fast, as you see. Once you put everything in there, it's all done. This is all about the prep. Okay, so it's gonna take you some time. You got to cut the tofu. You got to slice the shallots. You got to slice the red chilies. If you're doing fresh garlic and ginger, you got to cut that up. You got to measure out the soy sauces and the sugar and the black peppers, and you got to slice up all the green onions. So there's a lot of prep in this one. You know, it's going to take you about 20 minutes or so to get through all that prep, and then you got the frying of the tofu, which is another 20 minutes. All right, but if you get all that stuff done, once that's done, you get to this last bit here where you're throwing it all in here. I mean, you're under 5 minutes on this. So this one is definitely about prepping ahead of time and getting it ready. And then at dinner, you can actually throw this together in just a few minutes and have a nice dinner. You can make the steamed rice in 20 minutes. And so basically in 20 minutes, you have this done. You know, get your rice going, and then you just throw these last few pieces in there. In 20 minutes, you're done. Just one way of looking at it, all right? I love this one. It's different, it's tasty. And because the tofu is fried, you got that texture and stuff, and the sauce is mixed in there. I mean, it don't even taste like tofu. It's like wow, it's just got a lot of flavor. So I hope you enjoy this one. Maybe you'll take it down on your vegetarian journey. Hope you enjoyed what you saw today. If you liked this, like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, Kitchen Counseling. Check out the info at the end of the show for all the streaming services through KP Media TV. And they're doing Apple and Android and Amazon and Roku. You can check it all out on where to do all that. If you're interested in any of the stuff you saw or have any questions, definitely shoot me an email at yoursoulpath@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Enjoy life. Remember, my family, friends, fun, and food, they are what I consider the things that accentuate our life. And we will see you on down the road. Till next time. Bye.